also considered to be under an interdict. They also were being criticized and marginalized because they helped those who were being persecuted. And so we're talking about people, something like the description in the 11th chapter of the book of Hebrews, who wandered about in sheepskins and in goatskins, in dens and caves of the earth. These people were absolutely destitute. And remember why? It was because of their faith. Your poverty. But you notice that little parenthesis? But you are rich. Isn't that remarkable? It's there in the text. Because it is possible to be absolutely poor, to have your house taken away, to be given situations that are beyond description so far as we're concerned, and to be rich in faith. And after all, as we shall see, eternity is coming. So the next word to underline is slander. And you know the slander of those who say that they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Wow. There were Jewish people there who didn't have the responsibility. They apparently were exempt from acknowledging Caesar to be as Lord. And they persecuted the Christians. They slandered them. And these were not true Jews in the sense that they may have been Jews so far as their racial origin is concerned. But spiritually speaking, they were not true Jews. They certainly weren't, in Paul's sense, where a true Jew is one who acknowledges God and trusts God and then trusts Jesus as the Messiah. Regardless of who they were, the text says that they were of the synagogue of Satan. Contemplate that for a moment. What that is telling us is this, that if you want to look for the devil, you don't find him among the alcoholics. The demons can do that work. You don't find him among the pornographers. The demons can do that work. You look for the devil in the midst of religious institutions. That is the most important place for him to be. You see, we could say the synagogue of Satan. We also find him in the church of Satan. And by that I'm not talking about an actual church that is named the Church of Satan. Apparently there are such occult worship places. I'm talking about a very dignified church, a very upscale church, where everyone goes and where the Bible is even opened to give a little sermonette to a group of Christianettes delivered by some Christianette, I guess. That's what I'm talking about. Where there is no cross, no sin, nothing. It's just, we're all such wonderful people, and we could even do better. And the better we do, we'll go to heaven. We could say the synagogue of Satan, the church of Satan, the mosque of Satan. When you want to find the devil, you go to places like that. Because remember, his most important agenda is to keep people from faith in Christ. And if they can have a false religion and a false sense of security, he has what he wants. I hope that you return for the next message in this series, because I'm going to tell you about the next church in the next message, where it says you are where Satan's seat is. And I'll even tell you now, I believe that I have walked on Satan's seat in the city of Pergamum. And I didn't do it in Pergamum. You have to come back to understand that. So what God says is, you've endured this slander from those who claim to be religious, but who use their religiosity to persecute the church. And then he says, the next word is prison. Behold, the devil will throw you into prison. You can underline that word. And when you think about prisons in the early times, they were terrible places, but it is there that oftentimes they were sanctified by the presence of believers. And then the word death, be faithful unto death. Those are 5 words to underline. The most famous martyr there in Smyrna was a man by the name of Polycarp, who had been friends with John the Apostle. And Polycarp, in the year 156, was brought before the authorities, was asked whether or not he would recant, and he said no. And he said these words that are famous in church history. 86 years I have served him, and he has done me no wrong. How can I blaspheme the king? And that undoubtedly was a slap in the face of Caesar. How can I blaspheme the king who saved me?
Well, this is Pastor Lutzer. The reason that this message is so important, this letter to the church at Smyrna, is because we here in America have forgotten that suffering is part of our calling. It was Bonhoeffer who said that the church will never be strong unless we realize that suffering is a gift. Unto you it is given on behalf of Christ, not only to believe, but to suffer. So let's learn from the suffering church, because suffering may be on our plate too.
Erwin Lutzer, introducing us to When Jesus Observes Our Suffering, his third message on what Jesus thinks of his church, taken from Revelation chapter 2. Tomorrow, more on martyrdom. Running to Win comes to you from the Moody Church in Chicago. What Jesus thinks of his church probes our motivations for serving the Lord. And this entire series will be sent on CD as our thank you when you give a gift of any amount to support Running to Win. Just call us at 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. Online, go to offerrtw.com. That's offerrtw, all one word, .com. Or write to Running to Win at Box 11174, Chicago, Illinois, 60611. This is Dave McAllister. Join us for tomorrow's Running to Win.